When The Ring premiered in 2002, audiences weren't just frightened, they were shaken to their core. It was the type of horror movie that stayed with you, not just when the lights went out, but long after you left the theater. The film told the story of a cursed videotape. Watch it, and you have 7 days before you die. A concept so terrifying in its simplicity that it spread like wildfire through popular culture. But what made The Ring truly legendary wasn't only its haunting imagery, or that horrifying shot of Samara crawling out of the television. What truly cemented its legacy were the whispers, the rumors, and the chilling real-life events that surrounded its production. For decades, horror fans have claimed that certain films carry a curse, a lingering darkness that extends beyond the screen. And when it comes to The Ring, many believe that the terror didn't stay confined to the movie. Behind-the-scenes accidents, mysterious tragedies, and an atmosphere that unsettled even the cast and crew all point to something darker at play. Was it just coincidence, or did the movie awaken a curse of its own? Tonight, we're peeling back the layers of The Ring to uncover the chilling stories Hollywood doesn't like to talk about. Before diving into the American production, we need to go back to the film's roots. The original story came from Japan, Ringu, 1998, directed by Hideo Nakano, based on the chilling novel by Koji Suzuki. The movie became a sensation, terrifying audiences with its bleak atmosphere and the cursed videotape. But even in Japan, people whispered about strange happenings connected to the film. During screenings of Ringu, reports emerged of fainting spells, audience members collapsing in terror, and sudden illnesses. Some theaters even issued warnings to viewers with heart conditions. And then, there were the rumors, claims that VHS copies of the film mysteriously warped, television short-circuited during late-night viewings, and even one projectionist who allegedly refused to handle the reels, convinced the movie itself was cursed. When Hollywood remade the story in 2002 with Gore Verbinski directing and Naomi Watts starring, some believe the curse traveled with it, spreading from Japan to America, as if Samara herself had leapt from one screen to another. For Naomi Watts, playing journalist Rachel Keller was supposed to be her big Hollywood breakthrough. And while the movie did catapult her to stardom, it came with eerie baggage. Watts admitted in interviews that filming The Ring left her deeply unsettled. She described recurring nightmares during production, visions of water flooding her bedroom, long black hair spreading across her pillows, and faceless figures standing at the foot of her bed. One night, she woke to find her television flickering on by itself. The channel was static, white noise filling the room. Shaken, she unplugged it from the wall. But when she returned from the bathroom, the screen was glowing again. To this day, Watts doesn't like to talk about it, dismissing it with a nervous laugh in interviews. But fans believe she was haunted, that Samara had stepped out of fiction and into reality. Every film set has its share of problems, but the number of accidents during The Ring raised eyebrows. Lighting rigs reportedly blew out without explanation, plunging sets into darkness. Cameras malfunctioned repeatedly when filming Samara's scenes, with strange distortions appearing in the footage, blurred shapes, white streaks, and black smudges that couldn't be explained. During one scene involving water tanks, a crew member nearly drowned after becoming entangled in equipment. He later said that something pulled him down, though divers on site insisted nothing was there. Even animals reacted strangely. The infamous horse scene, where Rachel watches in horror as a horse panics on a ferry and leaps into the ocean, was plagued with problems. Trainers said the horses refused to cooperate, kicking and bucking violently whenever cameras rolled. One trainer was thrown from a horse and suffered a concussion. Another animal refused to eat for days after filming, staring into the distance as if transfixed. The crew began whispering that the curse was real. When The Ring finally premiered, the atmosphere was charged with unease. Marketing leaned into the legend of the cursed tape. Studio executives even mailed out unmarked VHS tapes containing only the film's creepy 7 days sequence to unsuspecting journalists. Some reporters were furious. Others admitted the prank was so convincing that they couldn't sleep for days. At the premiere in Los Angeles, things got stranger. As the credits rolled, the fire alarm suddenly went off, forcing the theater to evacuate. There was no fire, no malfunction found. Some whispered that Samara herself had made her presence known. Audience members reported feeling sick, dizzy, and overwhelmingly anxious. A few left halfway through, unable to continue. And this wasn't limited to the premiere. Theaters around the country began reporting similar stories. Projectors broke down mid-film. Reels snapped unexpectedly. Patrons fainted in the aisles. The curse seemed to have followed the movie into the real world. Davy Chase, the actress who played young Samara, delivered one of horror's most iconic performances, even though she barely spoke a word. But her life after The Ring took a troubling turn. Chase grew up troubled, facing brushes with the law and personal struggles. In 2017, she made headlines after reportedly leaving a man outside a Los Angeles hospital, where he later died. Though she wasn't charged in connection with his death, the dark headlines fueled rumors. Fans couldn't help but notice the eerie parallels. The little girl who embodied Samara on screen seemed to have darkness follow her in real life. Once The Ring was released on DVD, stories of bizarre home experiences flooded online forums. Viewers claimed their televisions flickered or switched channels during the cursed tape sequence. Some said their phones rang at the exact moment Rachel's phone rang on screen. A handful even reported hearing whispers in their homes after watching, faint voices calling their names. One woman described watching the film late at night, only for her DVD player to eject the disc suddenly and shut down. When she tried again, the machine refused to turn on. She replaced it the next day, but the new player wouldn't recognize the Ring disc at all. Coincidence? Or was the curse extending beyond the cinema, reaching into the homes of those who dared watch it? In 2005, The Ring 2 attempted to continue the story. But if the first film's set felt cursed, the sequel's production felt outright dangerous. Several crew members were injured in accidents, including falls, electrical shocks, and unexplained fires on set. Director Hideo Nakata, who had helmed the original Japanese Ringu, admitted the energy around the production was unsettling. He claimed he often felt like someone was watching him while filming, even when alone. The film's release was accompanied by a renewed wave of strange audience reports, fainting spells, panic attacks, and technology malfunctions. By then, the legend of the Ring curse had fully taken hold. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the Ring curse is how deeply it penetrated public imagination. For years, fans claimed to have their own cursed experiences after watching. Some received prank calls from friends whispering 7 days. Others swore they received calls from unknown numbers after viewing, only to hear static on the line. Urban legends circulated about teens who watched the DVD and died mysteriously within a week. Even today, 20 years later, YouTube uploads of the cursed tape sequence are filled with comments from people claiming strange experiences after watching. Broken phones, cracked screens, unexplained sleep paralysis. Whether real or imagined, the curse continues to live on in the minds of those who dare to watch. Was the Ring truly cursed? Or was it all coincidence amplified by fear and suggestion? Skeptics point to the power of the mind, how a frightening story can make us see patterns where none exist. But believers argue that horror films sometimes tap into something darker, awakening forces that shouldn't be disturbed. What can't be denied is that The Ring left a lasting scar on Hollywood and audiences alike. It wasn't just a horror movie. It was an experience that seemed to bleed into reality, one that made people afraid not just of the screen, but of what might crawl out of it. And maybe that was the true curse. The legend of the Ring curse remains one of the most unsettling in modern cinema. From Naomi Watts' haunted dreams, to malfunctioning cameras, to audience members collapsing in theaters, the stories refuse to fade. Whether coincidence, mass hysteria, or something far darker, The Ring proved one thing. Some movies don't just scare you while you're watching. They follow you home. So the next time you see static on your TV, or your phone rings unexpectedly after midnight, ask yourself, is it just bad timing? Or is it Samara, reminding you that the curse never really ended?